Good morning, subscribers. Welcome to episode 16 of Complex Humans. It's Oliver here in Sydney, where it's Black Saturday, April 15, 2017. And our guest today is all the way from Las Vegas, where it's still Good Friday. It's Ken Blackman. How are you, Ken?
Hi, I'm great. It's good to
Awesome.
see you.
Yeah, we're really like opposite sides of the world.
Yes, we are.
What would you like to talk about today, Ken?
Um, let's talk about man-woman dynamics
Awesome. Yeah.
because it's something I've been thinking about and writing about recently, and so it's on my mind.
Hmm. Think how's the book going? Because I remember I participated when you were asking people to have ideas about the subtitles. That was a fun thing to do, actually.
Yeah, I'm deep in the middle of um, writing it, getting
Mm-hmm.
it to completion. Already have the book cover done, or
Mm.
like the main design. So, excuse me. If there's a way to share my screen,
I
then
could
I'll
show
show
that.
you.
Yeah. I'll show that. I
Okay,
could.
hold on. Don't switch it over yet. Let me bring up my book cover.
Actually, I could bring it up here from my screen.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Let me see. But why I do that? Why don't you give us a taster of what the book covers and all that?
Okay, yeah. So the book is called Powerful Woman, Confident Man. And it's based on this thing that I've noticed in my coaching over the years where a lot of women who are powerful, they're self-assured, they are confident, they're successful, maybe that they're sexually self-assured, like they're comfortable with themselves.
Mm-hmm.
They feel like those qualities are not assets in the realm of relationships. Like somehow there's something needs to be timid, or they need a provider. Like it would be more. They would be more attractive if they needed a provider, if they needed a
Mm-hmm.
man to protect them, if there was something broken that a man could fix. You know, so showing up fully in their full selves, they feel like either intimidates men, or it's downright less attractive than a fragile woman who has self-doubt.
Yeah.
And so they're wondering what to do. And then on the men's side, a lot of men are attracted to them, but are also, maybe they are intimidated, or they just don't have a new model for how you would have a great relationship with this kind of woman. They have a model for when women, you know, they have the protector provider model,
Mm-hmm.
but they don't have a model for, I'm whole and complete and happy and successful, and you're whole and complete and happy and successful. Let's play, let's have fun.
Mm-hmm.
So a lot of what this book is about is dismantling all the things we think are true about how men and women relate with each other, and kind of providing a different lens to that I haven't seen anyone else talk about, a different way of looking at how men and women can interact with each other. So
Yeah.
it's yeah.
It's awesome. Like I remember attending in Sydney, we have this thing called the Festival of Dangerous Ideas. And I remember
Mhm.
attending one where someone talked about the end of men. It was a provocative title.
Mhm.
She talked about the rise of the alpha females and how, contrary to the rhetoric that women are underpaid, actually the tide is changing. It's actually a lot of women are rising in the workforce, and it's gonna continue
Right.
because like the jobs that in the future are less about physicality or even less about strategic planning and the masculine linear thinking. It's more about
Right.
empathy. It's more about the skills that women are naturally good at or
Yeah.
better, and it's
I
gonna
I
be hard for men actually in the future, I think.
yeah. I totally agree, and I totally am aware of that. Like men are kind of fucked because
Yeah.
the skills, as automation, both thinking machines and doing machines,
Yeah.
mostly what you're absolutely right. Mostly what they're replacing is the things that men have been good at.
Yeah.
And the skills that will remain for humans to do are the things that women naturally are good at.
Yeah.
Now, and so men are kind of fucked, But the same is true in relationships. Like
Mm.
I'll give you an example.
Yeah.
So men and women and had their different communication styles. So men tend to use language to deliver factual, content.
Yeah.
And women tend, now, I'm generalizing, so I'm just going to apologize to your audience. Like, I'm talking about generalizations, and I'll just say, like, I write a lot about man woman generalizations in my book, but I am the first to admit a lot of what I say about women is more true of me than it is about my girlfriend.
Yeah.
A
I
lot
mean,
of the things
yeah.
I say, a lot of the things I say about men are more true of my girlfriend than they are of me. But I'm
Yeah.
still going to generalize because there's still things that are kind of, we're not out of the woods yet, right? Like
Mm.
there's still some basic things that men still get stuck in and women still get. So
Yeah.
I'm generalizing.
And when you generalize,
So
it's like a teaching tool, right? So that people understand you're doing this to teach.
right,
It's not the real, it's not
exactly.
the reality. Okay.
So women, or people who are more emotionally connected in a way that women are given permission to be emotionally connected and men are encouraged to be production oriented.
Mm.
So women use language to evoke emotions. Like the women use language to exchange packets of emotion.
Yeah.
And so often, you know, I give this example of, like the scene in the movie where they're arguing and arguing and arguing, and then suddenly he grabs her and he kisses her, and they have a passionate kiss, and it's amazing. And then he throws her on the bed, and then the movie cuts to the horizon,
Yeah.
beautiful sunset, and amazing, right? And how the fuck do you know when it's the right time to do that? Like, how do you know
So
when
true.
how to do
So true.
that?
Yeah.
And so I have this conversation with men where they use language for content and they discount women. Like, can't women, why can't women talk the way we do? So,
Mm.
so I'll say to this guy, like, think about the times when she wants you to do the dishes and it's irritating because you're thinking, why doesn't she just ask me to do the dishes?
Yeah.
Right? But what I say to the guy is, if she wants you to do the dishes, then brother, she communicated. Like, she communicated. If you know that she wants you to do the dishes, don't wait for it to be delivered to you in proper man speak. Like, it's time for you to start using language the way she does, because those are the skills of relationships, right? The language, men use the same language that they use in business deals and car
Yeah.
repair, and try and use that same language in relationship. Well, women have the language of relationships. And so a lot of times I'm encouraging men to develop their intuition, to
Yeah.
learn how to think like a woman, to get in touch with their emotions, to learn her nonverbal communication and to use nonverbal communication so that he rises to her level of skill in relationship skills.
Yeah.
Because you want that spidey sense. If you learn, if you learn to read her and to listen to the, like your intuition tells you she wants to do the dishes. Just take it as a communication. Just presume that she deposited that thought into your brain
Yeah.
and start acting on those intuitions and that spidey sense. And all of a sudden, it feels to her like you have ESP. You know when to kiss her. You know when this huge argument that you're in, and like her body is screaming, please just grab me and kiss me right now, right? You get to know, and then you have that intuitive ESP.
Yeah. And
So
it's even logical when you said in a way, because if I already know it, then she would have communicated it. You're right. Then it's
right,
just for confidence to act on it. And
right.
and of course, like with any skill, we might fail when we start it.
Oh yeah,
How
there's
do
going to
you
be some
handle that?
spectacular failures.
Yeah. So how do you
Like,
recover from that?
well, so we have this inner compass.
Mm-hmm.
As human beings, we have this inner compass. As men, we are conditioned not to listen to that inner compass, but
Mm.
to ask for the instruction manual and follow the instruction manual. That's how we operate.
Mm.
And so we're constantly wanting women to give us the instruction manual.
Mm.
And so here's what I tell guys. Any rule book or formula, let's say some guy comes up with the ideal formula that he's able to seduce any women, or he's able to have it, like, let's say you got what the formula, let's say someone actually gave you a formula, okay?
Mm.
Well, any formula, originally where it came from was some guy just using his intuition.
Right.
He just used his intuition. He tried something one time, it worked really well, and he learned something. Then it became a template. So
Mm.
what I train guys to do is to get in touch with that part of him from which any tips or techniques or formulas or any of that shit, where it originally came from, which
Yeah.
is his organic intuition. And so we all have this inner compass that is going to be more accurate than any instruction manual,
That's so good.
because it's in real time, it's reading her, it's connected to her. So the only way, you have to trust it, you have to listen to it, you have to trust it, you have to follow its instructions,
Mm-hmm.
you have to fail terribly, you have to succeed spectacularly, you have to keep trying and keep listening to it and listening to that little voice, because little by little over time, that inner compass gets honed and polished and calibrated, and it becomes extremely accurate.
Mm.
And all of a sudden, you're not operating according to formula or rule books. You
Mm.
just, you're with her, and you get this little intuitive hit, like, maybe I should blah blah blah,
Mm.
and you just take a chance and you act on it, and
Mm.
pretty soon, like, that's how animals are designed to operate.
Yeah.
Right? Animals read each other. They don't have words, so they read each other.
Yeah.
Well, we have that capability too. You just have to, you know, you have to do the uncomfortable, painful work of listening to that voice.
Yeah. And following it. Why don't we take a
Yeah.
mini break by showing them your the book? So I'll just do that now.
Okay.
Do you see it?
There it is. Yep. There's my
Yeah.
book.
Looks good. I like the shade of yellow. It's like it's not really yellow.
Reload the page. Reload the page so people can see the animation. I'm so proud. I did this animation myself,
I
so I'm
did the
so.
animation. Oh, that's so good.
Yeah.
And I like the tango reference because I've heard that tango is really an amazing practice. And do you watch the Blacklist? And
Mm-mm.
yeah, there's
What
an
is it?
it's a TV show in America where and and then there's this episode there when he describes the tango, and he said if you want, he's talking to his it's about an FBI agent, and he's the most wanted, and he's helping the FBI agents catch the biggest criminals in the world, and they were
Mm.
they were shadowing this Russian mafia, and part of the scene was they were in a bar, and I said this is the Russian milonga, the tango. I said, Liz, if you want to learn about negotiation, it's here in the tango. And he said, nothing taken that's not given, nothing given that's not
Mm.
earned. And I just like, it's like
Mm.
that, balancing on the knife edge, the tango milonga. It was an amazing. I'll send you the clip if I can find it. It's an amazing way of describing the man-woman dynamics in the tango. It's like a
Yeah.
dance of equals, but it's on the knife edge of giving and taking. It's like amazing.
I dated a woman who has been doing tango for, over a decade, and the stuff that I learned just talking to her about it and
Yeah.
having some experience with it. Yeah, tango is amazing.
It's a good page, and people could also, yeah, learn about the other things you do and your events. Oh, going to Europe as well. Wow.
Yeah. The page, yeah. If anyone who's interested in finding out more about my book, just enter your name in, and you'll be among the first to get notified when it comes out.
Yeah, yeah, I'll do that later, but I'll do it.
Yeah.
That was good. Right. Now going back to what we were saying. How, how do you see how the importance of this in? Because I think that this is happening not just in the individual scale. I think the world is moving into a more fluid world. Like we're past the
Yeah.
industrialized age, and then we're in this kind of weird period where we're transitioning to another
Hmm.
era, and it can be dangerous. Like when we transitioned from agriculture to industrial revolution, we had the two world wars, right? And I think we're in that funny period that can be dangerous. What's your thought on that?
You know, the big thing that's on my mind is this is, you know, so obviously there's a big piece around AI, and
Yeah,
there's a big piece around automation in general.
yeah,
And it's interesting to me that people are so worried about losing their jobs because
yeah.
for most of human history, meaning, the 1.5 million years that anatomically modern humans have existed before civilization, but, we were anatomically modern humans
Yeah,
living, in the jungle in small tribes.
yeah. Hunter gatherers.
Whenever, yeah, whenever a new technology was invented, say a new way to create an arrowhead, right? That was much better. Whenever a new technology came out that made our lives, that made something more efficient or easier to do,
Mm-hmm.
people benefited, like we were able to do more with less. So first, the invention of the bow and arrow, the invention of better quality arrowheads,
Yeah,
the invention of, bowls to grind certain foods that we couldn't eat before, but once we had the technology to grind certain foods, every technology, our lives got better. We benefited. We were able to do more. We were more efficient. We didn't have to work so hard. So now we have this huge, 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 huge proliferation of um, technologies that can create abundance,
yeah,
technologies that can do things for us, and that we have a more, potentially more abundant than ever, ever, ever. Like it's accelerated, right? It's on an exponential curve. But we, as in modern civilization, were so uh, indoctrinated that we need to work, that instead of seeing the abundance that can be created,
yeah,
we're afraid of the job that's being taken away from us.
yeah,
Well, that's a modern concept. That is not an ancient human concept. That is modern. That is modern civilization. We're addicted to work. We're addicted to workaholism.
yeah,
So we're afraid that modern technology is going to take away our jobs, our work, right?
yeah. Like
That's
I did economics in my undergrad, and it's all about scarcity. The whole
right,
science centers
right,
on that, and it's about trade-offs. So no one's really teaching what if there are no trade-offs. what if,
right,
what if it's like nature is like that? It creates millions of species. It's how evolution works. You create abundance so that if a cataclysmic event happens, you still have lots left. Whereas I
right,
think the industrial age is about, it really riles me when people keep talking about efficiency, efficiency. But efficiency means narrowing things down. And if
right,
it's efficient, let's say you have one efficient crop, it's very efficient, but then it gets hit by disease. And we all starved, like what happened in Ireland, right? When they had the potato blight, because they just had one species of potato left, because we wanted to
Right.
be efficient. So, and I guess that plays into relationships as well, like how we've been conditioned in monogamy. And it's becoming stressful now because we're living longer. And I don't know how you can
Hmm.
sustain monogamy for a long period of time. Maybe in the past, when people died when they were like in their 30s, maybe monogamy was perfect at that time. But
Well,
changing, right?
yeah, I talk about that in my book, actually.
Ah, awesome.
Here's like, if you want to have a long-term, committed, loving, fulfilling, enjoyable relationship, like it is entirely possible for two people to have a relationship that actually gets better over time, right?
Yeah,
10 years in, it's better than it was in the beginning. 20 years in, it's better than it was 10 years ago. Even your sex life can get better over time.
yeah,
This whole thing where you get bored or where your sex life goes down after the beginning is
yeah.
entirely a myth. It is not necessary.
Mm,
So there's ways that you can have a monogamous or committed relationship that gets better. But I also talk about open relationships and that
yeah.
possibility and how to do that well. So, you know,
It's out there for us. Yeah, we have to think
yeah,
rich. Yeah. So
yeah.
we're hitting our mark. We're at the end of the episode. Is there a few more things you want to talk about before we end?
Um, how much time do I have?
I mean, it's up to us,
Okay.
right? I mean, like
Okay.
this is the
I'll
beauty of
say
our new age where we don't need
we can
permission.
be as long as short as we
Yeah,
want, huh?
yeah,
Okay, then I'll give your listeners one more thing to think about.
awesome.
Because this is something I talk about pretty much anytime I give a lecture. This comes up, so it's like fundamental.
Mm-hmm.
So we like to think that men want sex and women want love, right? That's
Mm-hmm.
this idea we have. Men want sex and women want love. Well, so here's how I see it. So men's machinery
Mm-hmm.
is pretty easy to operate. It's
Yeah.
not that hard, rub, 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 squirt, squirt, squirt. It's not that complicated, right?
Yeah.
And so they have easy access to climax if that's what they want. Like they don't even need a partner, right?
Yeah.
But that experience isn't whole and complete. Like there's this feeling that there's something missing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, you know, so women, I used to teach that their machinery. I used to teach that their machinery is complicated. I don't think their machinery is complicated. It's just different. But
Complex,
they,
richer.
right, they may not have as easy access to climax, but they certainly have easy access to partners. So
Mm.
what comes easy for women is any normal healthy adult female can go out and in 30 seconds, boom, they've got a willing male who's willing to have sex with them, right?
Mm-hmm.
If that was all that was necessary, that's not hard to do. But that experience for women is sometimes has something missing because a lot of times they're producing more sensation in their partner's body than what they feel in their own body.
Mm-hmm.
So um, each partner has something that comes easy to them and something that seems to be missing.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at how men and women turn to technology, women, the technology women turn to most often is a vibrator.
Yeah.
And the technology that men turn to most often is porn.
Mm.
So the way I see it is like there's definitely a physical component for women. Like they want proper clitoral stimulation. Like that is the thing that's missing is they want their bodies to be well taken care of at a visceral somatic, like they want to experience pleasurable sensation in their body.
Yeah.
And men turning to porn, what's really happening there? They
Mm-hmm.
what they're looking for is exposure to other human beings in a state of orgasm, other aroused human beings.
Mm.
So men have easy access to direct somatic, like to pleasure their bodies is easy.
Mm-hmm.
direct orgasm is easy, but what they crave is empathetic orgasm. Like, I want exposure to another human being who's also in a state of orgasm.
Ah, yeah.
And women are the opposite. Women, empathetic orgasm comes easy to them, but they often default to that. Like, women who are having sex, but they're mostly pleasuring their partner. They're not getting their own pleasure.
Mm-hmm.
So what they crave is the direct, somatic, visceral, bodily pleasure.
Hmm. That's amazing. That's actually a deep insight because
Yeah.
kind of flips
Yeah.
the usual
Yeah.
conception. But once people hear it, it feels true straight away, right? It's not
Yeah.
like one of those things that I'm gonna give you a world-changing paradigm. It's gonna take you 10 years to understand. But this one landed straight away because maybe it's the
Right.
truth.
Right.
It's just not being
So
said yet,
men,
right?
men crave connection in a way that we're not even aware of. We crave connected sex, empathetic sex, because just stimulating our bodies is easy.
Yeah.
So that when I started studying that, it blew my mind. Right,
Mm.
the effect that female orgasm has not only on her, which is amazing, but the effect that female orgasm has on the male partner
Yeah.
or the female partner. Right.
Yeah. That's why there's like a whole genre of porn where it's just men watching women get off, right? There's a
Right.
whole series of
Yeah.
videos just
Well.
that goes on that, right?
Right. So what men crave, what I teach men ultimately is they don't know this. Most men aren't even aware of this. But what they really want isn't the sex; it's the connection.
That's amazing.
When it comes down to it, and men who actually become aware of this, like if they really, really get all the way, like let's say they get all the sex that they wanted, they get all of the, everything. What they realize is that what they really wanted the whole time was the connection, the empathetic connection. So
Wow. And to neatly tie that up, and that's what we want, and eventually that's what we need to survive in this new world of AI and the
yeah,
singular.
we need to awaken that part of ourselves.
Yeah, and it's there for us. And
Yeah.
amazing. Can't wait to read your book.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to it.
Any ETA? Let me just bring it up before we end so people could
I'm aiming for a June release date.
awesome. So that's it's a few months time. So
Yeah. And my website is kenblackman.com.
yeah, it's easy to remember. There it is. All right. So
All right, bro.
subscribers, listeners, please visit Ken's website, and then you could have a preview of the book. And if you want to be keep updated and be the first to know, then just enter your details here, which I'll be doing.
Yeah. Invitation to your listeners. If you mention Oliver's blog in the notes when you enter your information there, if you mention that you came from Oliver's blog, I will give you an excerpt from the book. I will
Awesome.
send you an
That's
excerpt
good.
from the book.
Oh, that's awesome. So listeners, there's a bonus for you. So please do, and you get an excerpt. Can't wait. All
Yeah.
right,
All
Ken,
right.
any last words? Any last goodbyes before we end it?
Nope. It's been fun chatting with you. Thank you. I look
Yeah.
forward to more episodes.
Yeah, let's do this again when your book comes out, and maybe I could even do a review or a book club on it because I think it's really important that we
That'd be
get
great.
this message out there.
Yeah.
Thank you, Ken,
Okay.
and thank you, subscribers. And if you happen to find this video by serendipity, then please subscribe so that you get informed of future episodes. And as always, please like, comment, and share. It really helps us a lot. Thank you, Ken,
Amen.
and thank you, everyone. See you in the next episode.